Everybody wants to know how to have success. One of the challenges about that is that people at different levels of consciousness with different interests and different ideas have different thoughts about what success actually is. It's very important on the path of recovery from addiction to understand what success is and levels of success. The first success in recovery from any addiction is spending a 24-hour period not active in the addiction. Without that first success, there can't be any other successes. Once you're able to have that success for one day, to put down the addictive substance or behavior for one day, you repeat that success and you string days together. A period of time where you're putting distance between you and the addictive behavior or substance of choice. That's a success. That's a monumental success. That's a success that's necessary in order to have any other success in your life. If you're a person who struggles with addiction like we do, we just can't move towards the deeper levels of success if we don't take care of that first success. Ask yourself right now, what do I consider to be a success in life? What are the characteristics of a successful life? Would you say having a lot of money necessarily means you're successful? Would you say acquiring a lot of things means success? Would you say having the right job, the right recognition from people, from others, that would be success? These are very important questions as we move along our path today, our path of recovery, our path of discovery. On the path of yoga, which for me really is the path of recovery, we have an opportunity to develop the two things which we're told on the path of yoga leads to success. Two things, only two things that we need. The first is steadiness of practice. Steadiness of practice. On this path of yoga, we create steadiness through the practice, one day at a time. On this path of recovery, we create steadiness of practice, one day at a time. What does that mean on the path of recovery? Obviously, it will be different for different people. For me, steadiness of practice in recovery starts with, I don't pick up my drug of choice. I don't engage in addictive behavior, one day at a time. If I do, that means I have to go speak to somebody about it, connect with somebody about it, learn everything I can from it, and then get back onto that track of the first success. And the first success is not picking up for 24 hours. But let's say that you're in recovery for a while, or you've got steadiness now. That steadiness came about because you did certain things each day. There was a routine that you set up each day that led to your success in recovery. Later on, success can mean other things. There's only two things. First is steadiness of practice. Our practices in recovery are many. Our practices in yoga are many. It's not just getting on the mat like we did today, although that's a big part of it. We like to, hopefully you feel good now in your body. Hopefully you feel a little different than you did before we started practicing. That's my hope for you. I know that I do. I feel very different in my body. And it's a pleasant feeling. So I'm creating that steadiness over time. Every day I return to my practice. I return to my awareness. I return to myself, and I create a steadiness over time. And that's one of the things that leads to success. The second thing is releasing the outcome, releasing our attachments. So, for example, attachments take infinite forms. But in this case, what we're talking about is releasing the insistence that things be the way we want them to be. We're creating a reorientation to the world. In our active addiction, we try to shape or manipulate the world to meet our needs. In our recovery, we shape the internal being to be at peace regardless of the surroundings. Being at peace doesn't mean being lazy. It doesn't mean being complacent. We're just at peace regardless of the external. We find our peace, our center, by releasing our insistence that things be other than as they are. If we want to work towards a better world, a better political system, a better body, a better anything, we can do that work from a place of peace, from a place of inspiration, from a place of presence. And so these are the two things that are needed for success, as is told to us in the ancient scriptures of the path of yoga. Steadiness of practice, release our attachment. Steadiness of practice, and release our attachment. That will bring you towards what ultimately is success, which won't be the amount of money that you have. It won't be the job that you had. It won't be even what other people think of you. But the final measure of success will be how you were able to keep your presence, to stay in presence and consciousness and awareness when the outside world didn't act the way you wanted it to.